Hey.
Brian just magically appears.
Yep, Brian appears out of nowhere, ready to go.
The Magic Man.
All right. I'm pretty excited about this. I don't know about you guys.
I'm drinking whiskey on a Friday night. Always excited to do that with you guys. So
yeah, I mean, that's a 10 out of 10. I'm with you guys. So adjustment 7 out of 10.
Okay, I'll take it. So tonight we got a very special thing, which is we are going to try some Texas bourbon here, which I'm excited about. So we have a great Patreon named David who lives in Texas, and he brought us some Texas bourbon because we said we had not tried any Texas bourbon. And so we're going to see how this goes. But we have a special guest tonight, which is DMC. No, not you, Brian. Somebody we like. He's called DMC Kentucky. He runs a small YouTube channel called Prescription Bourbon. And if you guys know anything about this crazy YouTube thing, it is hard. It is stressful. And hitting that subscribe button helps a bunch. So we were bringing him on mainly to have him suffer with us through this Texas stuff. But also so you guys can get to know him and check out his channel and maybe hit that subscribe button too, because every subscription definitely helps us. So we'll bring him in. How's it going?
Hey, great, TJ. Chuck, Brian, how y'all doing?
Doing great.
Awesome.
It got better now that you showed up to balance out these other yahoos.
Yeah. You take some the brunt of some of their jokes, I know. So,
well, the good news for me is I don't get. The good news for me is I don't get half of them. So there we go.
Yep. All right. So if you're out there, say hi. Let us know what's going on. Everything like that. But we are going to start in on the Texas whiskey here. So they are all bourbons. We are going to go up in proof point. And I'm the only one that knows what they are in the order. These guys have no idea. So get ready for a very interesting ride. And we're going to finally see if Texas can make good bourbon or not. So buckle up.
I mean, if Henderson's any indication.
Oh, gosh.
They're all bourbons, Brian. So you know that Henderson is not in this flight.
It's a creamsicle spirit, whiskey based.
Yeah. No.
Is that from Texas?
It is, actually.
Did not know that.
Or at least it says it on the label, but it claims some other stuff on it. It also says whiskey on the label, which is they use that term loosely. So
yeah, trust us when we say stay away from the Henderson. You don't want to do it.
It's
so
$9.99.
Is there any rules to this game? Are we guessing proof, or we're just enjoying tasting notes and company?
We're enjoying tasting notes company. We're going to talk to DMC, and the main focus is we're going to see if anything good comes from Texas, because I'm not sold it does.
Certainly not football teams.
All right.
And I do not believe I have ever had any bourbons or whiskeys from Texas that I know of. So yeah, these are my first.
Bourbon Spice, we are going to find out if, quality bourbon comes from Texas. So it is fun, though, because, I mean, I guess we've all been doing this thing for long enough. We know, but one of the common misconceptions is bourbon can only be made in Kentucky. For those of you, which usually people watching us are pretty educated, bourbon can be made anywhere in the continental United States, and it's providences or whatever those are called. Territories, that thing. Yes. Thank you, education person.
Here for you, buddy. One of us has to be a real teacher.
Yep.
So, number one, get a little bit of that crafty dough note. It's like baked bread, graham cracker. Not really much else, to be honest.
Yeah.
So the second I took it with us, I was like, Charlie's not going to like this. That was literally my first thought.
Yeah, I get the dough. I get a little bit of what's that candy? It's like a Smartie kind of smell.
I can see that.
Yeah, like
I think it's that sweet note coming through with the dough. Is kind of where you get a little bit that Smartie sugar. kick with it.
Reminds me of elephant ears at the fair.
Mm.
Hey, Steve, how's it going? Thanks for watching. Appreciate it, sir.
Cheers, Steve.
Cheers, Steve. The palate's kind of interesting. I get a little bit of like anise, a little bit of black licorice.
So not to totally go off topic, but what is an elephant ear?
Seriously?
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
All right, good to know. You're off the channel. Welcome, DMC.
I've also never been to a state fair, so
Or any other fair.
or any other fair for that matter. Grew up in the city. We don't do those things.
It's basically just pancake batter fried and then covered in powdered sugar.
Have you had a funnel cake?
Yes, funnel cake.
Think of a funnel cake that is a solid piece with powdered sugar on top, or sugar.
Yeah.
Because the funnel cake has holes.
Because I was thinking of funnel
So it's
cake.
like there's all these holes that could be filled with deliciousness.
No.
And the elephant ear takes care of that. I like it.
Yeah, elephant ear is just like that big, solid piece. It's wonderful. Paul, thanks for joining us. Cheers, man.
Hey, Paul.
So TJ, do we know the ages on all of these? So Texas whiskey, because it's hotter than hot, and they don't really have seasons. I think it's summer, third summer, and
then like
fall, maybe fall, but no, it's still summer.
Yeah. If I remember right, I think 4 years might be the oldest of these.
But
Lots
this is
of them don't
This
have
is like
age
old
statements.
faux. This is like old faux heat cycling warehouse, and just like, or more like an oven, maybe. I don't know.
Yep.
David, what have you done to us?
All right. Nick's in the house, and he's in Arizona, so he's, kind of close. He might be able to find some of this Texas stuff.
Cheers, Nick.
And David says, young, damn young.
Is this the David that gave you these samples?
Yeah. So how this all came about is, and DMC, you would know this, except for maybe 6 months ago, like there wasn't a lot of Texas bourbon in Kentucky. And then it suddenly seemed like it really just started hitting all over. And now I can find it. Some of these, maybe 2 of these, pretty regularly. So David was kind enough to come up and drop them off at my house and let us try these for the channel. So because he lives down there in Austin area, which is pretty cool. So
I like it. I thought about doing a Texas night anyway, so you saved me from buying all the bottles. So this is fantastic. And I don't think I would have been able to get most of these anyway. Balcones is kind of the typical Texas whiskey that we can get in my area in Illinois. So to bring us back to number 1, what lingers with me is cinnamon. So I get that cinnamon, a little bit of black licorice in the palate, and then it's just like cinnamon the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's any off-putting. Like I was scared after the dough crafty note on the nose, but honestly, the rest of it has been, it lacks that, I'd say, sweet butterscotch, caramel, vanilla that we look for and appreciate in a lot of Kentucky bourbons. But otherwise, it's a relatively easy drinker. Yeah.
I think it's decent. It's got a little. It reminds me of a young MGP, to be completely honest, like a Nulu or something like that. There's nothing terrible in it, but it also doesn't have anything that's making it stand out.
No, a little bit of single noted, maybe a little bit more baking spice and nutmeg than I'm getting in it's almost like a toasted bourbon to me. The more I sit here and sip it.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting oak, and the oak lingers for me. And it starts out nice. I mean, not totally nice, but nice enough.
Yeah.
But on the tailing and on the finish, it's not so nice. It's like old oak. Yeah.
So if I'm hearing you correct, if you lower your expectations, it comes in real nice.
Yeah. So basically, when you decide to subscribe to our channel, you've lowered your expectations. It's quality. All right.
That should be right up your alley, Brian.
Not bad to where I would never drink it or anything if somebody gave it to me. I mean, I would keep drinking it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can drink it. The end of the finish, like I enjoy the cinnamon part for sure. And that might've been what Chuck was mentioning as far as what I like, but just the end of the finish, there's just a little bit of a funk that I can't quite identify. That true cinnamon doesn't linger for me the entire way. It just it's there, and then something else comes in that just
Old barnwood.
It's slightly moldy, rotten barnwood, maybe just to really just finish you off.
Goes better with your house projects than it does in a bourbon.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I knock it a little bit. But other than that, very, very drinkable. I mean, I've had worse.
I mean, that's not saying much from you, Brian.
On to number 2.
Well, I'll tell you guys what this one is. So we'll see if this all works. We're fingers crossed. I think I've got everything set up exactly right. So first off, I'm just going to say there's a tag on this bottle that says World Whiskey Award, World's Best Bourbon. Just saying, this is the world's best bourbon. And it is.
According to whom?
Hey, Iron Root Harbinger. So there we go. We can get a better shot of it. Nice little label with almost a belt buckle for the R. Pretty good. So this is one that a lot of people, when you start talking Texas whiskey, is one that they instantly know, kind of like Balcones. So yeah, so it's 115 proof, straight bourbon whiskey. And if I remember right, it is 32 months aged. So yeah.
All righty.
Did you say 115 proof? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
115.
All right.
So, okay.
It's like one of my pet peeves with parents. It's like they continue to talk about their age of their children in months. It's like, oh, my child is 111 months old. I'm like, just give this to me in years. Come on.
Yeah. So you can just tell me they're in 3rd grade. Like.
So when you have to give the age of your whiskey in months, I think it might not be a good sign.
Yeah, we got problems.
So that my daughter's going to turn 4 here soon, and she's 3. So that whiskey's about as old as she is, which is not typically what I look for in my whiskey. So it's like.
I couldn't find much on that one, CJ, as far as mash bill or otherwise. Yeah. I think it was about $65 is kind of what I was seeing.
So, Derek, that's me stepping up my game without the basement finish. This is shambled together right now in the living room area. So just you wait. More good stuff to come, sir.
And if you weren't in your basement, it wouldn't be shambled together. Or if you were in your basement, it wouldn't still be shambled together.
To be fair, we are designing this new basement, and the contractor and I have talked multiple times about how it should look for the channel. not how my wife wants it or anything like that, but how the channel needs to make some things look. So, just saying, I'm invested. All right, so we're gonna move on to number 2, and while we are smelling that. So DMC, why don't you tell us what got you into whiskey bourbon? How long have you been doing this? So we've been doing it for me 3 years, these guys about 2. So yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. I'm local here, Louisville, Kentucky, born and raised here. So, throughout my younger years and my 20s and stuff, I enjoyed bourbon, but I think my favorite pour was Maker's Mark back then, and that's what I always when I met somebody who never had bourbon, I always pushed Maker's Mark on them and everything and all that. And didn't really drink much other than that throughout my 20s and 30s, and late 40s I started getting into bourbon more and all that, and started watching some YouTube channels a couple years back. I mean, I don't know how many years ago it's been now, but Bourbon Guild was the first one I started watching. And I think I started looking for reviews of certain bourbons that I was interested in tasting and buying, right? So, and they had a lot of reviews out there, so that's what got me interested. And then started seeing all these other channels pop up and think, yeah, that's something I could do. And work got in the way. I planned on starting my channel years ago, at least four years ago, but I didn't get it started until about a year and a half ago. So, it was definitely after COVID. It was during COVID and all that. And definitely the channel started at the end of 20. What is this? 20? Yeah, end of 2020.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So, and I try to do a mix of reviews like you see on the Bourbon Guild and all that, but a lot of blind flights and stuff too, and all that. And haven't done any blinds yet. I mean, lives yet, but going to eventually start doing some lives too. So
yeah, and I appreciate your channel because you're not scared to do just regular everyday things you can find on the shelf, which is a great thing for a lot of people. Like, they don't want to admit it. They want to be like, oh, I want to see, all the rare allocated stuff that nobody can find. But what good is that if you can't find it? So letting people know the regular stuff is great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, then you probably came across our channel and felt like, man, if those three can do a channel, really anybody should be able to do this.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, there's so many channels out there, and everybody's different, So, but you all have your all's different angle with the three of you and all that, which plays off nicely, really does. It makes it enjoyable. So,
yeah, very different perspectives.
Yeah. Yep. So, like, just in the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking, just as I've looked around at different things, I was actually thinking, like, I wonder how long I could go, like, and just legitimately be happy, never spending over $50. And just thinking of all the different bourbons I could get at 50 or even 45 and under.
No, there we go. We got it. 2023. The challenge is Brian can never spend over $50 the year.
Isn't that every year anyway?
That's close. That is close. I usually get 3 or 4 a year that might go over that.
The caveat is we cannot send him any bottle over $50 either.
No.
So
that's the only way I get good stuff.
Tonight,
on Brian will be drinking my bourbon.
I was going to say, tonight on Power Bourbon, Chuck and TJ will be reviewing this, and Brian is going to be sipping Benchmark.
Hey, they've come out with some additional Benchmark variations recently. I don't know if you followed that. Apparently, you haven't.
Oh no, I've seen it all. Yeah, it's Benchmark. I'm not going to buy it. Maybe that'll be your Christmas present, is the entire Benchmark flight, and then you can have it. All right. So on the nose on number 2, I'm not getting much again.
Yeah,
maybe I got COVID.
I feel like the dough is a little bit more muted on this one. It still comes through,
totally,
but definitely more muted.
I'm getting a evergreen pine scent on this one.
Okay, yeah, I'm getting a little bit. It kind of, what's the one? It kind of reminds me of Lost Monarch a little bit.
I get a little bit of honey sweet coming through on the nose, and that maybe is helping mute some of that dough note, if that's even there. But
I feel like everything on the nose for this one, nothing's coming off overly, just front and center for me on this one. It just seems like I'm getting a sprinkling of different notes. I don't know if you guys are there or not.
Initially, I was getting a sour apple, like a fermented sour apple, but it's kind of almost gone away now. I definitely get the wintergreen.
Yeah. But even that's not coming on strong like it would with a rye, type.
Well, then even on the palate, you're getting some of that wintergreen and I would say oak or bark notes to it a little bit, which is interesting.
Bark. You bringing back the whiskey pumps?
Oh, I like this one a lot more than number 1. This is head and shoulders above number 1, I feel like, on the palate and finish. But
now we're talking, David. I appreciate that. So apparently they've been talking. There's a distillery down there called Saints Alley. Is an Iron Root Harbinger MGP blend finished in Armagnac and Cognac port barrels. Yes, please.
Okay. I think the Iron Root Harbinger is the distillery. So is Saints Alley the...
No, I think what they're saying is Saints Alley is using MGP and Iron Root, blending it, and then finishing it in Armagnac or port or Cognac barrels.
But saying Nancy Fraley helped blend that, so she's the one that did the cigar blend, the Joseph Magnus cigar blends, and I think has worked with Still Austin also on some of their blends. So
and
a bunch of different things besides those, but yeah.
Yeah, and all the Magnus stuff is so good.
Yes, it is.
Oh, come on. It's only $50 4 times.
One of my buddies found one for $300 up in Chicago today. He's like, "Should I buy it?" I'm like, "No, it's not that good. It's not $300, kid."
You can just never find it. So yeah, I mean, if you find
not
it,
the regular
$200,
Joseph Magnus, yeah.
Well, it
People
was
pay that for the cigar blend for sure.
It was it was a cigar blend.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't pay that, but yeah, people
Inflation.
do.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I think we went up a little bit. This one's a little bit better quality. I would definitely go to it more.
Much more enjoyable. Yeah.
I agree.
I get some of that honey sweet that comes through, and then I mean the lingering finish to me is a mix of that wintergreen and cinnamon.
Yeah.
And there's
very different, but yeah.
There's no youth. I don't get any of the grain or dough or anything like that on this.
Yeah. Much more balanced start to finish. I feel like the whole thing works together a lot better.
Yep. All right. So you guys want to know what this one is?
Bring it on.
I actually kind of want to do. Like, I feel like at a decent price point, I feel like this could be definitely something to have on your shelf.
I'm excited because this is like, out of all of them, this was the number 2 bottle that I have wanted from Texas for the longest time. So I'm excited that I have it, and it's good. So I would probably buy another bottle in the future, which is Still Austin Cast Strength.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yep. So yeah, I had to play my poker face there, DMC, when I handed you the samples and you were like, "Oh, I really want to try the Still Austin Cast Strength." And I was like, "It's in there."
I was telling TJ, my daughter's actually going out to California in a few weeks and sometime in August to visit a friend of hers, and I was going to get her to pick me up a Still Austin Cast Strength out there because I know they have them at Total Wine out there where she's going. So,
yeah.
What's the proof on this coming at?
Ask me tough questions. This one is 118 and aged at least 2 years.
Okay.
So I think that was retails for about $50. So that price point, Brian, are you buying? That's under $49. We'll say 49, so it stays under your 50.
$49. I have a $1.95.
And it's 2 years, not 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 years, not 24 months. Exactly. Hey, 50.
I appreciate you still, Austin.
I think to be competitive with what you can get with a similar profile at 35, it's a buy. At 50, unless I'm just wanting this, I might move in a different direction. I don't know. Like at 50, it's fair. It's fair at 50. I wouldn't balk, but there's a lot of other things in that 35 to 50 range that are all really good.
Well, at the end of this, we'll decide. Like, if you have to have a Texas bourbon on your shelf, which one is it going to be? And
this one so far.
Yeah, so far it's this one. Yeah. So, all right, number 3. Oh, we're back to dough notes.
Totally.
Oh, really?
I keep looking at number 4 sitting over here and how dark number 4 is too.
Yeah,
so.
I noticed the same thing. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, this is very doughy.
All right, so while we're figuring this out, so if you could get any bottle there, DMC, what's your unicorn bottle? What's the bottle that you just wish you had on your shelf?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I don't have much on my list right now. I've found a lot of what I was looking for, so
lucky man.
And I don't go that high. over $100 is a lot for me. So I mean, I've got a few bottles up there, but most of them are under 100. So,
well, the assumption is you could get it at MSRP,
right?
Well, the assumption is, you got your tax break back and stimulus check, and you've got $1,000, that is burning a hole in your pocket. Suddenly, the entire bourbon world opens up to you. What are you going for?
Yeah, probably either. I'd love to get a hold of Old Forester, either King of Kentucky or President's. Whatever they call that one, presidential.
Yeah, the President's Choice. Yeah,
So.
I would go King
I
of
do
Kentucky.
actually have a birthday bourbon, but I have not cracked it open. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're an Old Forester fan.
I am an Old Forester fan. Yeah.
Hey, all right, good guy. I knew I liked something about you.
So what's interesting about this one is you guys picked up the dough right away, and I was only getting like this sweet butterscotch and then kind of like a dark wood, maybe back to that barnwood. But then it, like, now that it's opened up a bit more, I'm with you. It gets a lot of that.
Yeah. Did you pour yours last minute?
No, actually, they were sitting here, so that's what surprised me. Or maybe that's why some of that sweet butterscotch was coming through.
Yeah, I'm getting a sweet candy on the back end, just on the nose there. So I haven't tasted it yet, but it might be a butterscotch. Very pleasant, actually. So yeah.
So I just tasted it, and that sweet note comes through on the palate. Very nice.
Yeah, that grainy dough note for me is too dominant.
Always is for you. Grain or dough, just always just.
Is this Texas whiskey or 80 Laws? David, did you slip something in there?
It's his work coming out. He's like, oh man, I eat grain and corn all day. It just reminds me of that.
I don't eat grain. It's a vegetable. It's sweet corn.
Corn's a vegetable. What's your point? It's all the same.
But you don't feel corn or grain corn that's used in distillation of whiskey is not a vegetable.
I'm uneducated in this, and I'm going to believe what I believe. Go ahead, Brian.
I do like the finish on this one. Comes on strong. It definitely has a little bit of pop. Like, I feel like you get some of that young dough, a little bit of maybe that butterscotch or other sweetness coming through, and then I feel like the finish hits nicely. Dances on your tongue for a little bit.
Yep, I feel like
I think I'm enjoying it. I might be in the minority here, but I feel like I'm enjoying this one.
No, I like this one. I really feel like
based on that face. That is the face of Chuck, like pouring it down the drain.
Anything under 13 years, experimental, trying new stuff. Chuck's, nope, I don't like that. No, I feel like this one it's interesting. If you blended the first two together, I think you get this, is how I feel. Which is it's interesting. So you get some of the older, more sophisticated notes, but then you get the younger, doughy, grainy notes. But they play well with each other. So I'm a fan of it.
I was gonna say, like, what I'm enjoying is, like, I feel like unlike the other ones, it was pretty clear what was there. I feel like this actually has something to, like, unpack. Like, with each sip, I feel like maybe I'm getting a little bit something different. Something else is maybe a little bit more dominant. And so it's kind of I wouldn't say it's a lot, but like an interesting drink.
I'm fully with Brian on that. It is had more layers than the first two, I think. The finish to me is very nice. The spice just lingers on the finish. It's a nice cinnamon spice for me.
Yeah.
To where the first one was this funky oak. This one's a nice spicy finish that just lingers and not hot at all, just very pleasant. So.
Now that's a great comparison. I think that's where the first one, the finish really lacked in comparison to this. Is that first one did have that little bit of funk on the end, and this one just is not. It's pleasant all the way through.
Yep.
This guy, DMC, man, he likes Old Forester. He likes a good finish. This is a great night.
I've never had Henderson before. I don't know what to think.
Oh, I'll ship that right to you.
No,
buddy.
we want you to come back. Please don't. So Steve says, Chuck, much like you, a big fan of barrel. Of the recent 30 to present, how do you rank them favorite? So I mean, partly I want to be mean and be like, so coming out on Patreon, Chuck blinded off every single barrel batch he has ever done. And he's going to do a write-up for Patreon, right, Chuck? We're going to do that?
Yeah, I got my fancy spreadsheet here with all my tasting notes and rankings. And so, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can, how about you spoil a little bit? Say what, don't give the definitive order, but what are your top three? So
yeah, so I have 14 barrel batches going, well, some go all the way back to batch 12, 12, 16, 21. And then 24 on, I have all of those. So if we're just looking at the recent ones, 30 to 33, 30 was my least favorite. 31 was next. 32 was a close third, and then 33 honestly was my favorite. So I drank that again last night, and it's a lot to unpack there. And I think we'll have a review for the channel, so I don't want to spoil all my tasting notes coming up. But it's and that's what I like about barrel batches. Each one is totally different, and that's this batch 33 is completely different than the rest of their profiles. And I really like what they did with it. So of 30 to 33, 33 has been my favorite.
Sweet.
And just to be clear, like on those rankings, you're not doing like the seagrass or like
no, just their batches. So, and I know I left out the New Year. So some of the New Years have been, especially going back to the original, like 2017, 2018. Those were really good.
Yeah. They've got some amazing stuff. What did you say? I have barrel back to 15 with a few exceptions. Need to open several of them. Yes, you do.
If you haven't opened 25, 24, 28 and want to unload those.
And if you live close to Champaign, Illinois, just give Chuck a text and he'll come help you open those.
Yeah. Or really, you have Kentucky, Illinois, Missouri here, so.
Yeah, Missouri, you get Brian. He'll bring you three. He'll bring you a barrel of Henderson.
I can get it to Chuck if someone can get it to me. I can't promise it won't be opened by the time it gets to Chuck, but it'll get there.
All right, so ready?
I think he finally got me my old Carter with about only a third gone. So
it doesn't affect you two. DMC, if you paid attention, they're going to do a pop-up shop tomorrow for their 14-year-old single barrel at Old Carter. So if you are watching and you're in the Louisville area tomorrow morning, probably get there 3 hours before they open. They're going to do a 14-year-old single barrel. If everything in history stays the same, it's probably going to cost you about $350 for the bottle. Good luck. So, but it's good.
I was just saying that last one was really good. So.
Yeah, it's in the top 3 of all time. So, yeah, it's amazing. So you guys ready to find out what this one is?
Oh, yeah.
So this
I was already on to number 4.
Oh, so this one was probably the one I was most excited about because it's featured in a TV show I watch a lot, which is the new Walker Texas Ranger on CW, because that's in Texas, because he's, a Texas Ranger. But anyway, so this one got me really excited. I wanted it just because it's in the TV show all the time. Not this one exactly. They just have the standard one, and you can't find the standard one. And this one you can only get at the distillery, which is, there we go, TX. And this is the barrel proof bourbon. So you can only get this at their distillery. I think it's pretty good. So it is a 4-year and it is 118.8 proof.
So this is one in my little pre-show research. I was excited for this one because it's wheated. And it let me down.
I feel like a year or two ago, I sent you guys a TX. It was their bottom shelf cheapest one, and I feel like it was not appreciated. So,
all right. So Steve says he lives in Southern California, which we know you go out to California occasionally, Chuck. So who knows? Maybe you can meet up. And then David says, in my opinion, the TX is the worst of the 5 I sent you. I'm sorry. But has the best distillery, beautiful grounds on the site of an old country club right outside Fort Worth. Sounds like a great place to visit. I'm going to put David on the spot. Let me know in the comments, David, have you tried the Michter's 10? And what did you think? So, spoiler, Chuck, Brian, and I were not huge fans of it. So I'm interested to see what you think about that one.
You say the Michter's 10 or the Michter's Toasted?
The Michter's 10. I did not need to keep it, so I gave him my Michter's 10 as a thank you. Oh gosh.
Number 4.
Yeah, this one's interesting. Very different. So DMC, what do you got coming up? What are you planning to do with the channel? What are your goals?
Goals, like I say, is do some live streams here coming up. I just hit 500 subscribers last month. So keep growing. Keep doing my reviews and stuff. So I've been doing some videos with my daughter also. So we're going to be doing some rum tastings and stuff like that. So coming up.
Nice.
We've done some Scotch tastings before, did some Irish whiskeys before. So we're going to be doing some rums. Yeah, probably just a little more of the same, but just add the live streams in. And I don't know what my live stream is going to be yet. Probably I'm collecting samples, from various people. So I'll probably actually taste samples on my live streams. So
cool.
Yeah. I'll call out who I got them from and go through and taste them. That sort of deal. So,
well, if you ever need samples, just let us know and we'll make Chuck send you some good quality bourbon.
All right.
And if you ever want to send some samples to someone you don't like, let me know. Help you out.
All right.
All right. So
although I think I just finished my benchmark recently, so.
So this knows
all the new benchmarks or just the standard benchmark?
Oh no, this wasn't even the 100 proof. This was the 80 proof.
Okay.
Grass water.
I mean, I can go down the street to Liquor Barn tonight and get you all of the benchmarks if you really want to, Brian.
That's good. That might be over $50. We're good. Maybe not.
Yeah, a lot of them are they're close to $20 each. Yeah.
The one I got was 12. So, go ahead, Chuck.
I was just nosing number 4. I just get a ton of wintergreen, menthol, and then some like a dark oak. Initially, it was reminding me like the richness of a Dickel product on the nose. But that's kind of subdued now to now all I get is that mint.
I was initially getting some caramel on this one, which I hadn't got on any of the other ones on the nose. But now, after putting it down and talking here for a minute and all that, when I went back, it was actually more of a leather/cigar aroma, honestly, which is very nice.
Yeah, I do get a cigar note to it.
I was going to say, I feel like I get a little bit of smoke or char note.
Personally, I get like a cigar rolled through like fresh cut grass, but that's just me. All right, so Derek says, super dark, makes me wonder if it's Garrison Brothers. I have no idea how to say that because, that's just not going to happen. Which I see on the shelves for Steve 200. I can tell you it is not that. And I have seen super mixed reviews on that.
Let's say, Derek, so that means you haven't bought it yet?
I would pass. There's not.
It's a good 3 shades darker than any other ones, though. Yeah, definitely.
Bardstown Berculin. Derek, Bardstown, Verkulen.
Derek's probably got 4 bottles already.
Buy 6.
It's an investment, Derek.
So Brian, you don't know because for the Patreon members, Heather and I have started a podcast that we do every 2 weeks. New podcast coming out Monday. If I actually edit it, we'll see. But we got the Bardstown Verkulen, which is a $200 bottle, and my wife told me to go buy a second one. That never happens.
Unless it's a Booker's.
Unless it's a Booker's.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I've ever got this tasting note before.
This is
like a menthol.
Yes. Like a menthol cigarette.
Wow.
I mean, I've never had a menthol cigarette, but
yeah. Guess we got to
tastes
start
like
smoking.
cigarettes.
Yeah. For the channel, Brian, I'll continue to buy expensive bourbon. You need to pick up a smoking habit. Thank you.
That'll help his palate.
I'm not sure that's cheaper. I'd prefer just to buy better bourbon.
There you go. So the most pleasant thing of this one is the nose, and after that, it just goes downhill. I am not a fan.
I get a little bit of a dark fruit in that palate, a dark cherry, and then it transitions into a spicy black pepper and oak. I'm close to that. This might be my favorite so far.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. Second sip was way better than the first. I can tell you that. Yeah. Second sip, nice spice on it. I like it.
This one definitely takes some getting used to. Like, you have to take a couple sips to adjust your palate.
Mm-hmm.
We call this the Brine of Whiskeys. So Brian takes a while to get adjusted and appreciate him.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't like you sometimes. And by sometimes, I mean often. Daily.
I will say this is the most complex so far, with the most flavors and different notes to pull out and everything like that. And because of that, I don't know. I'm just getting some I don't like, but I can give it that it is the most complex of everything we've tried so far.
It has a lot going on, but I'm just not sure it works together. If that makes sense. But I'm intrigued for sure. Going back to the other one, I said it's an interesting drink. Even more so here. Trying to figure out exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. That menthol I picked up on my first sip was weird. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was weird. I haven't gotten that anymore. I'm getting a lot of oak, a lot of peppery spice, like Chuck said on that. And the oak is very pleasant for me. That's my favorite oak taste there. It's very nice. Little drying though. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good call on that. Definitely a drying oak kind of lingers.
Well, and the finish is nice. The finish lingers very nicely. I mean, again, intriguing. So, I'll say this in comparison is I poured the same amount in all my glasses. This is the only one that's currently empty. So, I mean, there is something where it's I'm drinking this one, trying to drink more, figure it out, drink more, figure it out. Intriguing drink. The finish I really enjoy. And I think it's just not being able to really know what's going on with the palate. I don't know. It's intriguing, but also frustrating.
So I added a little bit of water, and it definitely improved it a little bit, at least for mine. It mellowed the methanol, or the
hopefully not methanol.
Menthol.
Menthol. Yeah. That's what I'm going with. It mellowed the menthol out and definitely brought more flavors. I just put words together. One of these days we'll talk about my ACT scores and we can have fun with that. So this one, David kind of gave it away.
You work in engineering, it's like accuracy isn't important in that field,
TJ, a 13 is still in the teens. You're good.
Oh, there we go.
Grayson.
On the English, I got a 6. On my overall, I got a 28. Thank you very much. So this is Grayson. So I had never heard of these guys before. I was very interested in them. It is 119.4 proof, aged at least 3 years. It is a blended bourbon. So there is that. And so do you find anything about them, Chuck?
I think this is the same distillery as the Iron Root Harbinger.
Okay.
So just a different label.
What's our price
David,
point?
Can you confirm that? I think similar price point, 65.
So this is, I told you, TJ, that I told everybody I had never tried any Texas whiskeys before, but I told DJ I did have a sample of a Texas whiskey that Matt from Whiskey Crusaders had sent me. That's the one. It's at Grayson is what it is.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't tried it, but I've got a sample of it. As soon as you said the name or whatever, I'm like, that's what it was. Because I couldn't remember what it was yesterday or the other day. So, yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's different. The methanol note is not for me, but all right.
I mean, nothing's off-putting. I feel like about that one though. Like that's the thing. I feel like it's complex, and I was trying to figure out how well the different notes work together. I feel like I was getting a lot thrown at me.
I love the aroma is very nice.
Yeah. Oh, the nose is the best part about it.
So no, I think that fourth one might be my second favorite of the night.
All right.
Moving on to 5.
Yep, going on to number 5.
Chalk this up to like weird tasting notes that you get. Like my first whiff of this, I just reminded me of a fried egg, and I have no idea why.
Are you hungry?
Nick's got a very important question. Brian, are you off-putting?
Or you call me fat, Nick? You call me fat?
Is he saying, is he off pudding, like he was addicted to pudding?
Are you saying I need to go on a diet?
Okay, so David says Grayson
Get back here, Nick. Get back here.
Yeah. So Grayson is a combination of iron root, balcones, and 1 elm, about 70% iron root. So it's blended. All right, so number 5 goes back to a tamer nose. There's not a lot there.
Back to, I keep feeling like I'm saying the same thing, but a little bit of menthol and then a bit of a musty oak.
I feel like I'm getting a hint of cinnamon in there.
Yeah, I can go with that. Oh, he says lone elm. Sorry, not 1 elm, lone elm.
Well, now we don't know what lone elm. Well, maybe this is lone elm. I was gonna say we don't know what lone elm tastes like.
So this, there's nothing off-putting on the nose, but there's nothing that excites me on the nose. It's just there. There's a little bit of oak, and that's about it.
Brian's face.
I like this one.
Which you like this one?
That explains a lot, because I absolutely dislike this one. This is my least favorite of all of them.
I don't think it's my least favorite,
but on that,
I was intrigued.
On a different note, if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to DMC-KY. Help him get to that 1,000 mark. You guys don't realize, I didn't ever realize until for some crazy reason we decided to start a YouTube channel. Subscribing actually matters. And when you get to 1,000, you get monetized and everything like that. So you get super stickers, everything, and it really helps. Also, DMC, do you have a Patreon?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So
so Prescription Bourbon at Patreon.
So go check out his Patreon at Prescription Bourbon. Like, really, that's the biggest thing that helps. I mean, you really don't make much off YouTube, but building a strong Patreon community really, really helps. We love our Patreon community, even when they send us Texas whiskey. And so, yeah.
Thank you, David, for sending me a 2-ounce sample where I didn't have to buy a 750 milliliter bottle.
Exactly. But make sure you help Prescription Bourbon out. DMC is a great guy. He's got some great reviews, great information. So, yeah, I enjoy watching him. So make sure you guys do too. So there we go.
Thanks, TJ. Thanks, everybody. Yes. Everybody, make sure you hit the like and on this video here too, and all that. So
and hit the subscribe for him. Otherwise, TJ is going to have to go into his 37 burner accounts and.
No, I've got a better threat. We will make Brian send you granny panties, bourbon, whiskey, whatever it is.
I think you feel like you should actually explain what that is because most people might not get the reference. So it's Granny's Batch or Granny's Reserve, the Granny Rich.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, watch all our previous videos. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Big and Rich.
TJ, link it above.
With the Worski. Yeah, link it above, TJ.
I can't do that on live streams. Thank goodness.
You don't do it on other videos either. So.
He
did. He did for my line cutter. Actually,
I saw that.
He looked that was great.
I've now gotten to where I'm editing and I've got a notepad to the side and I'm writing things down and then making sure that when I cut Brian's 45-minute monologue out, that it's still at the right moment. Yeah, you're a lot of work, gentlemen.
Oh, my wife could have told you I'm a lot of work. Come on now.
Yeah.
You knew that.
Back to the whiskey, gentlemen. This is the first one that I've actually gotten some vanilla. And it's hidden on that nose, but it is there.
It's on the palate, too.
Well, if you have an exquisite nose like I do, don't even have to sniff, Brian. Don't have to taste.
So, Brian, we will keep this recording. So when top bourbon whiskey taster comes out for Bardstown next year, we're going to make sure Chuck enters because he's superior.
Yeah. I'm tired of this. Yeah, the problem is he'll place top 5 or 3 like he always does. And then it's then they'll just prove him right.
Nick says, just saying you're looking good, Brian, like you're off the pudding.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it, buddy.
You're looking more like your elementary school self.
Yeah, I've lost 1.5 pounds this month, mostly due to the heat and sweating. But yeah, I appreciate you noticing, Nick. I feel it.
So I got to say on this one, there's something from the palate to finish transition I just don't like. It doesn't hit my taste buds exactly right. Other than that, the nose is just not. There's not very many notes there. It's very mild. Palate's got a note or two, and then that terrible transition and a nice little peppery finish. It's just not there for me.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think I don't know how it could be up much, but I think the proof is a little bit higher too, just for me. Yeah, I know they've all been in 110s, 115 or so. So I'm guessing this one might be more 125 or something. So.
And I don't know if it's just coming off the last one, but so what I actually like about this one tonight, which I'm thinking is not maybe something I typically like, but just for tonight is I like that the palate's coming in with that sweet vanilla notes, and then that finish comes at you with pepper. And I actually feel like the finish comes in pretty strong. I feel like it really builds and builds and builds up until the end. And so you kind of get, I will say this is like a 2-trick pony, it gives you a little bit of the cinnamon, a little bit of the sweet on the nose, followed by sweet on the palate, and then, some spice on the finish. But it's just, I don't know. I'm just kind of enjoying it.
I would just like to point out, because it's not often I get compliments. David says, I just totally described every Texas bourbon. So, yep, I have passed my Texas bourbon. I am done. Cheers.
I feel like we've been immersed.
Yep.
This was very educational. Appreciate it, David.
Right.
Honestly, so I'm at like number 4 was my favorite, followed by number 2, then 5, then 1, and number 3 was my least favorite.
Yeah, for me it's 2 and 3. I really would go back and drink 2 and 3. I don't have a problem with that.
I'm not. You can have that 3 all day long.
Really?
So the final one.
I'll even send you my sample if you want this 1 ounce.
So the final one is Lone Elm single barrel. So it is the one that made up the other stuff. It is 119 proof, and I do not know if I have an age statement on this one. It does not look like it.
So right in the same ballpark, though. Yeah.
Yep.
Proofs, yeah.
I will say this one, I feel like is the only one that drinks to the proof. I really felt, and I don't know, maybe we just drink too much.
Maybe that's what it was. The other ones drank under. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like all of the others, I really you could have told me they were like 105 to 110 proof, and I would have felt like that was actually the ballpark for 1 through 4. 5 was the only one I really felt like tasted like it was a 115 to 120.
Well, I was nice, and I did it in proof point, so we went up.
Okay.
So I will say, I love these things. So they put on the side here, soft winter wheat transformed by American white oak barrels and intense Texas sun to deliver a smooth, uncut and unfiltered spirit with a hearty finish, hinting of vanilla and dried cherries. When you only have 2 tasting notes in your 3-paragraph description, that is not a good thing.
And Texas gets to claim the sun for themselves? What's up with that?
Yeah.
Maybe it just means they don't have the marketing person to come up with this baloney that is on this whiskey bottle.
Yeah, or hold on, was sun actually a tasting note? That's what
It might have been.
Consider.
Fair enough.
So, I mean,
David
one observation
said-
I have is like with other regions outside of the mothership of Kentucky, it's like if you get into Colorado or you get farther north into, like Driftless Glen and Wisconsin, you're like, they just need more. Their whiskeys are young. They just need a little bit more time. They need to be aged longer than. So it's like, we'll come back to it in 2 years. And per the video that Brian, he just sent us a good sample of 8-year 80 laws that we've seen that growth, the improvement of age. Texas, I don't know what you got going for you, because if you leave it in the barrel longer, I don't think it's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the 25-year-old that peaked too soon.
Yep. So
Rode hard,
David,
put away wet. I don't know.
So David says the Lone Elm was the only weeder out of the group. So that's interesting.
I thought, of course, my research is faulty, but I thought
as usual, it's okay.
Don't tell his boss.
He is
I
his
thought
boss.
the TX
No, that's right.
had weed in it as well. But
I do not know. Maybe not the barrel proof. Maybe there are other stuff. So, just to be mean, because I was not exactly sure how this night would go, I did pour DMC a special sample. So I am very interested in what you think of the unlabeled sample I sent you.
Okay. I haven't even poured it yet, but let's go with it.
Well, we'll let it open up a little bit.
Yeah. So, coded question: have I tasted this?
We have all tasted this.
Okay.
And while we've got people on and people are going to watch this in the future, if you are not a Patreon member, I highly recommend joining our Patreon community, because we have 2 barrel picks getting ready to come out. So we have a VDN finished bourbon from Starlight, and we have a double oaked finished bourbon from Starlight. Both are
double oaked rye.
Oh, yeah, sorry, double oaked rye. Both are absolutely amazing. Brian has finally tasted them. And what'd you think there, Brian?
Oh, I was happy. I'm gonna go
Put him on the
rye
spot. He tasted him at the end of the night. So
yeah, I did, but I'm going right to the rye. The VDN was great.
Shocker.
I would say, do you have any of the sample left?
Yes, I still have half.
Go. Oh, you got to go run and get a sample while DMC tries this.
Well, the rye. Can I finish my rye rant, or do I need
Fine,
to get right on over here?
You know, I say that. Why?
It was a beautiful rye. If you like, I think that night I described it as like a man's rye, like pure rye goodness with, I believe it was just a little bit of like toastedness. It was like, it was everything I wanted rye. It was so good. I'm gonna go with the sample though.
All right, so Derek says great exploration of Texas whiskeys, and I enjoyed this. David, yes, David, thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely, thank you, David.
It was amazing. We love, like, at the end of the day, the one thing I hope our channel lets everyone know is we love trying new stuff. You got to explore. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, so for those of you that know why I'm sitting here in the living room is we are getting ready to finish our basement. So I got to move 320 bottles of bourbon. I have 320 bottles of bourbon because they're all different. And it's so much fun to explore all this stuff, which is great. And then Derek says, in other news, he overpaid for a Parker's Heritage Orange Curacao that he is absolutely loving. I don't know why people hate on that Parker's Heritage Orange Curacao. It is good. It's different, but it's good. So,
I mean, I'm a fan of the Bardstown Orange Curacao over the Parker's Heritage, but
and David vindicated you. There is some wheat in the TX.
There we go. So two wheaters. You would not know by tasting. The wheat is the sweetness of the wheat addition is.
Well, now, so was the TX 4 grain? Because they said there was some wheat in it. So was it wheat and rye in that? Or?
I think it was corn, wheat, and barley.
Okay.
All right. So while Brian's still playing in the background, what do you think of this special sample?
Well, I've only nosed it so far. Trying to let it open up here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting some citrus on the nose. Nice orangey citrus on the nose. Enjoyable. Thought I got not caramel, butterscotch when I first whiffed it.
There you go.
But now all I'm getting is orange. So I'm going to go in for a taste now.
This guy, he likes Old Forester. He likes a finish. First thing he identifies here is a strong orange flavor. It's like a twin.
It's like we don't need you anymore.
Yep.
Hey.
This is crazy
DMC.
Orange on the taste, too. Yeah.
Steve brings up a great point. What's everybody in the chat drinking? Like we've told you our wonderful Texas night. What do you guys got? Anything good out there?
Hopefully not Texas.
Derek said he was drinking some Parker's Heritage, so he overpaid.
Yeah.
Margie in the chat, that's my daughter. Who I said we're going to get a rum video with. We've done some other videos. That's my daughter.
So have you tried the Bardstown finished in rum barrels?
I have not, no.
Okay.
Key lime LaCroix. That is the best LaCroix, by the way. I'm LaCroix connoisseur, and the key lime is numero uno.
Actually, so what you need to do is have that key lime LaCroix and use that for bourbon Ricky, where you just do the key lime LaCroix bourbon. No, it's an actual drink.
Okay, it sounds like also like a drug that you feed to some poor girl at a bar.
No, take the LaCroix. It's just bourbon tonic water and lime, but instead of the tonic water, replace it with a LaCroix. It's like great for a hot summer day. You can drink and hydrate. It's a win-win.
Just Knob Creek, Heather? Is it Knob Creek 12-year, Knob Creek 15, Knob Creek single barrel?
Personally, I feel like my wife is lying because I've seen her pour the Maker's Mark. I have not seen her over to my right pouring the Knob Creek, but I haven't been paying attention, to be honest.
Hey, and then TJ, quick question. Do you feel like you are in a position in your marriage to call out your wife?
Yes, I do. And William, yes. Oh, she wants me to do the number 2 camera. There we go. There's my wife off to the side.
Single barrel, yeah.
Single barrel.
Westport. Yep,
Westport,
Westport pig. So good.
Very nice. That's what went into my barrel over there. Although it's now no longer in the barrel.
Okay, and then, I forgot how good this rye was. Oh my gosh. I'm just nosing this thing. Oh, beautiful.
So William says gin. William, so when we did the Copper and Kings tour, I did a bourbon finished in apple brandy barrels. My wife got a lemon flavored gin that is absolutely amazing. And they have tons of gins. So if you're ever in the Louisville area, definitely go do that. And then Derek, of course, just poured Disco 8, which I've heard is amazing, but I've heard Disco 9 is even freaking better. Which, by the way, Derek, I don't know if you listened. I think you did, but my wife says you were the only person allowed for us to ship the Furculin 2. So if you would like a sample of that, that's going to be sent your way, sir. No problem. Steve says he's doing the Broken Barrel Missouri finished in the glass. David is doing Penelope Toasted, followed by Proof and Wood, the Presidential Drum. Never heard of that one. Nick is participating in Dry Week, and that is a good thing to do. Let's see. Steve says, nice pour. How does the Disco compare to 6 and 7 for 8?
Don't tell me. These are spoilers.
Hey David, which Penelope Toasted are you drinking? Which state or whatever is it from? I think they're all named, aren't they?
Illinois Select, I think.
Did you want me to show this one off? Oh, so apparently I'm supposed to show. I'm getting by my director in the back. So we bought a Maker's Mark today. You're not going to be able to see it because of the light, but it is a caramel latte stave finish. So pretty good. Total Wine. Way to go. All right, DMC, what do you think? You going to buy this bottle? You're not going to buy this bottle? Does it deserve to be on the bar? Just throw it away.
It definitely deserves to be on the bar. Yeah, I would buy it. I mean, it's very nice. Orange, crazy amount of orange on the nose and on the palate. Nice spice.
I feel like that's what I said.
I would say, I know Chuck knows.
Finish. I mean, it's, love it.
I would say, I know Chuck knows what you're drinking. I don't think Brian has any idea what you're drinking. I know exactly what you're drinking. Any idea there, Brian? Butterscotch is on the nose.
I thought it was you had given the BS1. I was assuming that you sent me. No.
I don't know what BS1 is. What is BS1? Yeah. Chuck, what is he drinking? Please let us know.
He's drinking our new riff pick.
Yep.
New riff.
He is drinking the nice. Brian. New riff.
That's an empty bottle right there.
He finished off the bottle. My first bottle is down. I am down to 4. I am down to 4 bottles left. It is a very sad day. So that is our first single barrel pick we did as a channel from New Rift, which was a lot of fun.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, that's a beautiful pour.
Yeah, I've got a New Riff Rye pick that I did. I haven't got the bottles yet, but that's excited to have that coming in. So
sweet. Yeah, they didn't do very many people for the rye. We entered the lottery. We did not win, so pretty cool. All right, gentlemen. It was a fun night.
Thanks for tuning in, Derek. Thanks for making me have a serious case of FOMO for missing out on Disco 8. I do not have it yet.
I mean, we got to go back and buy a second, maybe third bottle for Furculin. So if you're okay without a signature attached to your bottle, we could pick you one up.
You love that. David loves the New Riff sticker.
He does. So
Great sticker.
So I have decided, spoiler for people, if they, again, another plug for you to join Patreon. So the double oaked rye, the sticker is going to be, I've decided. So if you've seen our Instagram, if you've seen the Instagram where it started, the Instagram where it is now, you'll have noticed the quality of pictures have greatly increased. That's because one of my former students, who is very good at photography, is taking pictures now. Tristan is amazing. If you own a company and you want product shots, he wants to do that. So hit us up and I will give you his information, all that. But when we went there, it was hilarious. So at the very end, like we had picked the VDN and we're like, this is what we're going with. And then Christian pulled out another. He's like, oh, I think I have this thing in the back. You should just try this. I'm like, are you kidding me? And he pulls out of nowhere this double oaked rye that is just freaking phenomenal. And naturally, I was like, let's just get the double oaked rye, because I knew the VDN was so good, Chuck was going to buy that one on his own. And Chuck managed to talk us into just buying the two together because, he's a very savvy business guy. But we are going to make that one the hidden stash sticker. So I think it's going to be like a seek and find, where we're going to put some hidden mustaches in the sticker, and you're going to have to find them all. It'll be quite humorous.
I thought we were just going to put a mustache on Brian.
Hey, David, get TJ your info, and I'll get you a sticker.
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
I got to step out for a second.
Okay.
Good to see you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Chuck.
So Derek says, I won't give a spoiler, Chuck. Great video as always, gents. Also, just subscribe to Prescription Bourbon. Thank you, Derek. We appreciate it,
Derek.
man.
Yeah, thanks, Derek.
Can I talk about our upcoming rye pick?
Yes.
For a little bit. I mean,
double
my
oak,
gosh,
double oaked rye. We got to add that caveat.
Double oaked rye, toasted. The nose of this is just like pure Christmas tree evergreen with just hints of sweetness, like not a lot. You just like dabbles of sweetness with evergreen. It's beautiful. Like, and you get just. I feel like those are the two on the front. Maybe you get a little bit of. Yeah, just a little bit of sweet evergreen on there. Christmas tree type evergreen. Beautiful.
And this is a Starlight?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a Starlight. And then your palate, this thing is consistent start to finish. All the nose notes go right into the palate, right into the finish. You get a little bit of pepper on that finish that crescendos nicely. And it's kind of introduced in the finish that you don't get along the way, so it kind of saves a little bit of something there. I think I describe this just as like a rye man's rye. If you like ryes, traditional ryes, none of this Kentucky rye garbage, where they sweeten up their ryes to make it more palatable. Because they're afraid to get some hair on their chest. I don't know. This is just, if you like ryes, this is just beautiful for you, start to finish. So, second I tasted it, I said, like, I want 10. Was pretty much where I was at.
Absolutely. So, yeah. Well, I mean, Chuck's not in the frame, so we can do this. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Like I said, please hit the subscribe button over at Prescription Bourbon. Give them your love, everything like that. We appreciate you guys so much. We could not do this without you. And we'll definitely see you next time. I guess I can kind of spoil some stuff. So next month, we are looking at doing a live stream with Rare Bird and doing some wild turkey stuff. I'm pretty excited. And we'll see how all that goes. But make sure you're watching the channel for updates, everything like that. If you want to know a little bit more, join our Patreon, where we're doing some podcast stuff and different things like that, hitting some new tasting notes. Because if you've watched the channel at all, you know my wife is much better at all these tasting notes than we are. We just kind of make stuff up and go with it. But thanks for watching. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, TJ.
Yep.
Power Bourbon.